It's
They're gonna put it in. Good evening, everybody. Board of Selectmen's called to order at 6 o'clock, April 22nd, 2021. I'm going to do a roll call. Sheila,
Here.
Pat,
here.
Ed,
Here.
Mike.
Here.
Okay, we're all here. This is the virtual Board of Selectmen's meeting. We are using the Zoom conferencing format. The webinar ID is 997-1718-0698. If you wish to make a public comment and speak on an agenda item, please use the raise your hand feature on your device. The moderator will be notified and will unmute. Please identify yourself before making any comment. Okay, item 2, approve the April 8th and the April 12th, 2021 Selectmen's minute. Can I have a motion on April 8th?
Yeah, I can second that one, but I wasn't here for the 12th.
Okay, we'll do them one each.
Okay.
Do I have a first on April 8th?
Yeah.
Also moved, yep.
I have a first, a second?
Second.
Okay. Sheila,
I was not here.
Pat,
Here. Aye. Yes.
Ed.
Aye.
Mike.
Aye.
Aye. So is, okay, motion carries. April 12th, Sheila,
Not here.
Bad. Pat,
No, and you're,
Ed,
Here. Aye. I got.
Aye. Aye.
Aaron, and so that motion carries. Item 3, public forum. This is an opportunity for anyone who wants to address the Board of Selectmen with any issue that is not on the agenda. Do you see any hands? No hands? Okay. Item 4, public hearing and consideration of a new liquor license submitted by JPRE LLC, DBA Roma Pizza KPT, 5 Union Street. I'm going to go ahead and open the public hearing. Is there anybody out there that has their hands raised?
No.
This is a new liquor license, so it requires that's why it requires a public hearing. You see no hands?
No, nobody.
Okay, I'm going to close the public hearing. Excuse me. So everybody signed off on this liquor license application, didn't they, Lori?
Yes,
Okay. So I don't have any questions about it. How about anybody else?
They have great pizza, great pizza.
Yes.
Like,
We approve it.
nice shop.
So
I'll
I have a
second.
motion in a second. Okay, I'm going to do a roll call. Excuse me. Sheila,
Aye.
Pat,
aye,
Ed,
Aye.
Mike.
Aye.
Alan says aye, motion carries. Item 5, consider renewal liquor license application submitted by Mainly R English Inc., DBA 1802, House Bed and Breakfast Inn, 15 Lock Street. Staff recommends approval on this.
So moved.
I have a first,
second,
a second. Okay, Sheila,
Aye.
Pat,
aye,
Ed,
Aye.
Mike.
Aye.
Alan says aye, motion carries. Item 6, consider application submitted by the Dow House Family Limited Partnership to reconstruct the existing wooden dock and make for a year-round use. There's 3 of us that went down there and we looked it all over and we didn't see any problems with this at all. So I think that we should just move it to the planning board.
So
Do
moved.
I have a motion? I have a first.
second,
And I have a second. Okay, Sheila,
The fact that I did not, I was there, we talked about this once before, or years ago,
yeah,
when he wanted to do it. So I have no problem with him doing it. So I guess I'll say aye. I was not here for the,
Pat,
aye,
Ed,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Alan says aye, motion carries.
I just want to mention, even though I don't go on the sidewalk, I went on the first one. So I'm in agreement with it.
okay, good.
Okay, item 7, consider amendment to administrative code. Did you want to talk about that, Lori?
sure. I will, is Warner's in the panelist? Can we bring Warner up? Great. So this is in your packet and Jamie Mitchell is also here. She could come up. So she prepared the language and the purpose of the changes in the language would be to move the duties of assessor to the appointed position. Currently, we have an assessor's agent, and this would allow the person to have the title of assessor, and it would take those duties from the Board of Selectmen. So I believe that that is changed both under Article 1, the elected officers, so the duties of selectmen. It adds it to the appointed officers under Article 3. And I believe it also changes the Board of Assessment review language to take it from assessors to the single of assessor. Is that correct? Jamie Warner, do you have anything to add?
You're muted.
No, I think that picks up all of the changes that I saw in the administrative code to make those changes.
You all set with it, Jamie? You're,
That was the changes that we had made.
what's the pleasure of the board?
I move we accept the change to the administrative code as outlined.
And I'll second that.
Okay, I have a first and a second. Any more discussion? None? Okay, Sheila,
Aye.
Pat,
Aye.
Ed,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Ellen says aye, motion carries. Item 8, authorize and sign the June 2021 town meeting warrant. All I'm looking for here is a motion to go ahead and approve this.
So moved.
Second.
I have a first and a second. Sheila,
Aye.
Pat,
Aye.
Ed.
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Ellen says aye, motion carries. Okay, item 9, certification of the referendum questions for the June town meeting warrant.
So moved.
Second.
First and second, any discussion? Okay, Sheila,
Aye.
Pat,
Aye.
Ed.
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Ellen says aye, motion carries. Item 10, set public hearing date of May 13th, 2021 to consider the ordinance revisions on the June 8th, 2021 town meeting ballot. Can I have a motion? Is everybody in agreement? Or we're gonna have to do it on May 13th, so.
So moved.
that- No, I'll move it.
I
Second.
have a first and a second. Okay,
Can I just ask Werner a question? Is the planning board going to do a joint public hearing with us, or are they gonna do one at their meeting?
I'm going to suggest to them that we hold a joint hearing as we've typically done before.
Well, I know we've done it both ways, so it's just, sometimes it's hard to get them to come.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I'll verify that we have a quorum. If not, then we will hold it at one of their other regularly scheduled meetings.
All right, can you just coordinate that with Jamie, please?
Yep, will do.
okay, I'm gonna take a vote on this. Sheila,
Aye.
Pat,
Aye.
Ed,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Ellen says aye, motion carries. Item 11, countersign the RSU 21 budget validation referendum election warrant.
This is the one we have to sign, right?
This is the one that we
So
sometimes don't want
moved.
to, but we do.
Under protest.
I heard. Did I have a first?
Yes.
Did I have a second? I have a second. Okay. All right, Sheila,
Aye.
that's a drag. You dragged that out.
Oh,
Must be lag on her computer.
Pat,
Aye.
Ed,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Ellen says aye, motion carries. Item 12, presentations by the public health interns.
So we have Allison up, so we'll say goodbye to Werner and Jamie for now. And in the attendees, we have Garrett Hooper and Morgan Bates. And then John Dykstra is also out there. I believe John probably would like to come up for Garrett's.
Yes, please. Hi, everyone. I'm briefly going to talk while they're coming up on the screen and just say thanks for having us tonight. We just wanted to update you all on what we've been doing in public health department other than COVID things. We have been working with 2 UNE interns this semester, starting from January just until the end of April. And Morgan and Garrett are here to do their presentation on their projects. The whole internship for both of them has been via Zoom. So they did a great job under those circumstances. And I'm going to have Kim, oh, we need to bring Kim up as well. Kim Noble. Kim Noble's the other nurse that works with me. She is going to introduce Morgan, and then John Dykstra worked with Garrett, and he is going to introduce Garrett. And so Kim will introduce Morgan, and Morgan will do her presentation, and then John can introduce Garrett, and they'll do their presentation.
Great.
Enjoy.
Great, thanks. I'm Kim, and Morgan Bates is a senior at the University of New England. She's majoring in public health with minors in health, medicine, and society, and health policy and law. She'll be graduating this May. And during her time at UNE, Morgan was an undergraduate microbiology research assistant at the Burkholder Lab. She co-taught first-year experience classes to new students to help them guide new college freshmen and help them explore various health professions. Morgan was also on UNE's Activities Programming Board and Director of Weekly Events for the Department of Student Engagement. Morgan's post-graduation plans are to obtain a graduate certificate in emergency management and then pursue her Master's of Public Health at UNE. Since January of this year, Morgan has interned with the Kennebunkport Public Health Office. She has contributed to a number of articles to our public health newsletter, and also she has overseen the Community Needs and Assets Survey, which she will be summarizing for us this evening.
Thank you. Morgan, you're okay. You're off. You're good. You're good.
Yes. Hi, thank you for seeing me. Is it okay if I share my screen?
Yes.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. Just going to put this on slideshow mode. All right, you guys can still see it?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So thank you for listening. So I'm Morgan. I'm a senior at UNE, this year majoring in public health, and I did a community needs and assets report for the town of Kennebunkport, which pretty much looks at what the town has and how it's used, how the community values it, and what improvements it could be made in the future. So I wanted to start with some demographics. So from the survey, we got 313 responses, which is about 8.7% of the population, which is great because it shows the viability and the feasibility of the responses we got. And so 30% of the participants were 70 and over, while 42% of the participants were between 50 and 70. And in the graph here shown below, you can see that most of the people in Kennebunkport are between the ages of 50 and 79. So it makes a good average when we are looking at our response rate of 72% between that age range, while 85% of the participants were Kennebunkport full-time residents, while the rest were part-time or vacationers. So this is just a slide from one of the surveys that I did. So I just wanted to point out two major things here. One is the beaches and playgrounds were really highly used by community members, and so I think that's amazing. And then the Graves Library was something that a lot of people mentioned in comments, that they really love the activities that are put on there. So keeping that up will be really important to the town. And then here I also wanted to mention that two of the places where people get their main news is from the local newspapers and social media. And so I think those should be big ones when talking about how we're going to disperse materials or information from the town. All right, so jumping into my suggestions, after reading all the comments and coding all the data and then pulling out major themes, I pulled out 3 major feasible options for the town to possibly take a look at and consider. Above are some quotes shown by people that actually responded to the survey and what made me really choose these 3 suggestions. So we're going to start with volunteer tab on the town website, and then educational programs or campaigns around environmental health, and then farmers market. So I'll get into these in the next few slides. So a volunteer tab on the website, I'm mainly looking at a tab, like a one-stop shop for all the volunteer needs from the town website, utilizing the internet. And so this tab would just mainly have where, like the place that the department or organization that wants volunteers and then a contact information from them. And we could put this in a Google form and then put it in the town papers and the websites and on Facebook. And so it would only have to be updated once a month, and the work wouldn't actually be on us. It would be on the departments or organizations that would like to have volunteers, which is a great option for the town. The next one is environmental education campaigns and programs. So this is just, there were a lot of talk about pesticide use and environmental programming and that sort of things. So I wanted to make sure we addressed those concerns that they had. So one major resource that I found was Think Blue Maine. It's a educational website, and it gives free educational programs, supplies, flyers, and information about most pesticide use, environmental problems, pet waste, and all those things that a lot of people are concerned about. And then using Facebook as a free tool to promote these educational programs and campaigns. You can put the flyers out on Facebook. I was doing some digging around the town and kind of looking at what you guys had already. And one of the things I found was on your town website or the town page on Facebook, there were 3,900 people that like it or follow it, which is an amazing following. That's almost all of your population. And so using that more for educational programs, departments can advertise on there and things of that nature would really improve the communication in the town a lot. And then lastly, I just wanted to talk about farmers markets. There were a lot of talk where people wanted to have a place where they can feel like they're part of the community and show what they like grew or make. But after doing some research, I did find that farmers markets are very difficult to make and produce, and there's fees and all these other things. And so to just advertise local farmers markets. So one of the local ones is the Kennebunk Farmers Market. It's been established for multiple summers now. A lot of people know about it. A lot of people go to it or are vendors at it. And so possibly advertising that in our social media would be really cool. Get people know it like out there. And then Vinegar Hills in Arundel will be offering their expanded Sunday chill at the Hill and Makers Market. And this is new this summer, but advertising that on social media, spreading information and awareness would also be really important to just foster a community within the town in the summer where people can like share their ideas and stuff like that. So lastly, I just wanted to end with some positive comments that I received. A lot of the comments in the town were great. They loved the small town feel. They loved all of the departments and organizations that ran everything and the opportunities they had within the town. I really wanted to point out the Kennebunkport Conservation Trust. There were lots of positive comments about their trails. The Graves Library, who also provided a lot of activities for younger children. Sidewalks in the port, and during the winter they're plowed. And then the first responders and the Park and Rec Department, who offer creative opportunities while kids are in school and doing the hybrid learning, especially through the pandemic. So a lot of people say they really love living in Kennebunkport. So I just wanted to share some of that great feedback I've got from them. And then I can take any questions that people have about it. I also have my contact information there. If anyone has a follow-up question that they want to email me, I'm also willing to talk with you about it. So yes, that is my, the survey went really well. I really enjoyed doing this project with the town and with Kim and Allison. It shed a lot of light on like my degree as well as the town overall. Thank you.
I think it's a really nice presentation. I want to compliment you on, excuse me, on the, a lot of the information you captured, especially the age distribution mirrors what a highly paid professional organization did for the town. So you've done this, it just highlights the aging population in Kennebunkport. Thank you. And but I think it was a really, really nice analysis. And people did a nice job.
I think you're right, Mike. I think that they did a really good job. And Morgan, it's really a pleasure to meet you.
You too.
We wish you well.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
this is good information for us to keep. So thank you.
what was your percent response though? You got 8 and 9% of the population, which is great, but you know, how many, did you actually mail out surveys or?
Oh yeah, so our disbursement was through, we used the town website. I contacted the library, the senior center, and all the local departments and places around the place or the town, as well as putting it in the newsletter that the public health department disperses. And we contacted the school district and they put it in their newsletter that went out to families as well.
That's great. Nice job.
It was all electronic. Nothing went by
Yeah.
mail, snail mail.
Nice.
Thank you.
All right, John, you
Hey,
can.
am I up? Yeah. Marvelous presentation, Morgan. And one of the challenges that Morgan had was dealing with people, with soft data, as us hard data scientists like to say, and the social side. Garrett had a very different challenge. He got thrown in the middle of the beginnings of trying to put together a GIS to analyze our beach data that has been collected since 2004. We've got quite a plethora of data. And these data are principally looking at the enterococci bacteria as an indicator possibly of fecal contamination in our water, in both the tidal rivers and the beach. And these were all collected by citizen volunteers wonderfully. But when collected as such, they tend to be in a lot of different formats and forms. The Healthy Beach folks have pulled this all together, and Garrett had the challenge of trying to put that into a format that we could use on a GIS. So I'll just preface that as Garrett will make his presentation to note that this is really a work in progress. And what Garrett has done is to provide the foundation that we will in the future be building on. Garrett is a rising senior at UNE. He's studying environmental science with a GIS minor. This summer, he's going to be working with a group called Solitude, which is a private organization doing aquatic invasive vegetation eradication. So he's jumping right into the applications of environmental science. It's been a pleasure to work with him. Let me introduce Garrett Hooper. Garrett, hopefully you can share your screen.
Hey,
Hello,
Garrett.
everybody. Thank you for having me. Sorry if my audio gets a little choppy. The internet, not the greatest. I'm just gonna share my screen here. Can everybody see the presentation?
Yes.
That's good.
So as John mentioned, I'm Garrett, and pretty much I worked very closely with John, Allison, and the rest of the main program to kind of sort out data that they had to make it easier to interpret to the public. So my primary task was to transform the data and to format it in such a way that makes it easier to implement into a GIS, and the system that I used was ArcGIS Pro. And my main goal of doing that was to show the data in a way that can be easily digested by the public. So this slide right here is kind of showing what the data looked like prior to my coming on to it was kind of, there's 8 different parameters per site, per sample time. So it was a lot of data crammed onto one massive spreadsheet. I went through and worked out data to make it so each parameter has their own specific sheet. And we also indexed said data, so that makes the transfer onto the GIS much easier, much more seamless. So on top of this data, which is the field data, attributes such as tide data, as well as previous weather data and other parameters. There was also the enterococci data along with the optical brighteners data. So again, this is a previous data sheet kind of showing the massive amounts of data that I had to work through and sift through to make this GIS work neatly. And this is a screenshot showing that the same data but after we went through and cleaned it up and made it all nice and neat, made it easier to implement into the GIS. And we also implemented more data. We added more in-depth tide data as well as wind data, all that from the meteorological station down at Lodholm Farm. So that was a good collaboration with Jeremy Miller down there. So why is all this important? So this map kind of shows a distribution of the mean enteric oxide value at each site. So you can see the bigger circles have a higher mean value of enteric oxide. So as we know, like farther up in river, the concentration of the bacteria is going to be far worse. So using that information, we created this graph here, which that red line there shows the threshold of enteric oxide concentration. So as you, and the bottom axis shows the precipitation, the accumulative 48-hour precipitation. So as the rain increases, the rain amount increases, the percentage of each enteric oxide value being higher increases. And this graph kind of shows that more straightforward. So pretty much if there was more than 1.3 inches of rain, the chance of sample containing a enteric oxide value over the threshold was much greater, upwards of 75%. So the main goal with this is to implement this data in this map onto a story map that we can put that on various websites and whatnot to have that easy access to the public so they really understand why the beaches are being closed down after big rain events and stuff like that. Any questions?
Are we getting any closer to the cause?
There was data on the DNA of where this enteric oxide bacteria came from. So we can, there's data on like sewage systems as well as runoff from, that's why the big rain events are a big issue because it runs down from farms and whatnot, and storm drains are another big issue that we found. So that's another good use for this data. Now that it's easy to implement onto a GIS, we have that geospatial aspect of the data so we can better analyze where these big bacteria events are coming from.
Oh, nice, nice. Someday we'll be able to clean it up, I hope.
That's the hope.
I hope.
We've been working on it for quite some time, that's for sure.
But this is great.
Yeah, yeah, came out great. Pretty,
Yeah.
I can understand it better for sure.
Science.
Eric, thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you for having me.
Well done, Garrett.
It was.
Great job to both the interns.
Right.
And John, I wanted to thank you, John, for all your help with Garrett, because way over my head.
It's been great.
Yes.
He's been a joy to work with and a very bright young man. So just
Thank you,
got a real
John.
pleasure.
Lots of data, lots of information spread down to me. So
Take care.
Good luck.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks, John.
Thank you all.
Thanks, John.
Pleasure.
Item 13, certification of commitment of sewer user rates. Laura, do you want to talk about that, or do you just want to vote to go ahead?
I will turn it over to Chris Simeone.
Okay,
So 2 weeks ago, I presented the budget. And what we were left with was a end sewer user rate this year of $480.63.
how much of an increase was that?
It is $13.01.
Okey doke. What's the pleasure of the board?
I'll move it.
I have a first.
Hate to, I will move it.
Second.
And I have a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none. Sheila,
Aye.
Pat,
Aye.
Ed,
Aye.
Mike.
Aye.
Alan says aye. Motion carries. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Yep, thank you.
Okay. Item 14, consider approval for purchase of Green Street and Chicks Creek pump station grinder heads. You still on,
Yes.
Chris? There you are.
Oh, I'm back.
Okay,
So for fiscal year 21, we had $26,517 allocated in our capital line item for the purchase of 3 spare pump station motors. We also had $12,544 allocated for the purchase of 2 grinder heads for the Green Street pump station. Where we're looking at proposing and moving forward with the replacement of 3 of those pump stations. We'd like to defer that $26,517 that we were going to use towards spare pump station motors and purchase the grinder heads for both the Green Street and the Chicks Creek pump stations. We received a proposal from Williamson Pump and Motor for $29,295. That's for both stations. We're looking to sole source this purchase because Williamson Pump and Motor is the only Barnes pump dealer in the Northeast. And the installation work will have to be completed by their techs because the grinder heads need to be installed and the tolerances have to be within reason. So that's something that we would have to sole source.
okay.
So
Any questions?
what you're saying is this is more important? These grinders are more important than following through with the original plan?
Yeah, so with the original plan, Sheila, we were going to buy the 3 spare pump station motors, where we're proposing to move ahead with those replacement of those 3 pump stations. That's actually going to give me 6 replacement motors back that we can scavenge from those replaced pump stations.
Because of the proposed $6 million bond, those projects moved further up on the list. So it doesn't make sense to spend the money on them now when we're going to spend it later.
Okay, understood.
Any more questions for Chris?
No.
Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Yeah, I'll second.
I have a first and a second. Excuse me, Sheila,
Aye.
Pat,
Aye.
Ed,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Alan says aye, motion carries. Thanks, Chris.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Page, hang on 1 second. Okay, authorize and sign disaster mutual aid agreement for York County. Laura, you might want, you're gonna talk about that?
So as I'm sure you've heard, there are lots of COVID-19 vaccination sites across the state. One that was opened up and is run by York County EMA is at Sanford in the old Marshall's building. So they are looking for staff to assist, and they have specifically called out for our public health nurses to assist. The town would get compensated for any expense with having them there. But in order to get reimbursed through FEMA funds, we need to have a mutual aid agreement in place. So York County is asking that we partner with them, and then we can assign staff to work there to help with the vaccination process.
Is that
Drive
agreeable?
their fancy new decorated cars up there and show off. Right? Good PR.
Good PR, show off. I thought you
Show
said
off.
shove off.
No. Show off.
Yes, yes.
So Lori, is Allison in agreement with this? I mean, is that something she feels she wants? to-
Allison, do you want to speak?
Yeah, this will just allow us, and mostly I'd probably be Stacy and Kim that might do more time over there than I would. But because I would only be able to do it on the weekends most likely. But they're just looking, they're very short staffed with vaccinators. So they were just looking to have extra people to help out as needed.
And that's a volunteer basis? I mean, they would volunteer to do this?
Yes.
We would pay them to go over there, and then York County would reimburse us their cost.
That I understood, but I didn't
Okay.
know we were
But we're
demanding.
not
forcing
We're
them.
not forcing them to go.
That was my question.
Yeah.
No, just volunteering.
Thank you. No, it sounds fine.
Yeah, and
I move we sign this cooperative agreement so that if they go, we can be reimbursed.
I just wanted to point out first that there is a clause in here that on F, page 3, that indemnifies all of the people who are used by, in our town, who would participate, and also us, the selectmen and the town manager. That's the one thing I was looking for, and it's in there, so.
Okay. So what's the pleasure of the board?
Moved.
Second.
I have a first, I have a second. Any more discussion? No. Okay, Sheila,
Aye.
Pat,
Aye.
Ed.
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Alan says aye, motion carries. Item 16, accept donation of $4,500 from A&W LLC for softball.
And I don't know if we want to just move Reese up from attendee and Mike Claus, because they've been doing some work out there on the softball field.
Sure.
And whether they might want to talk to that. Reese, are you there? Mike is there.
Mike.
Should I go then? We don't have Reese? Okay, sorry. So we started, the crew has dismantled the backstops back there. So we're ready to move that. Right now, we're pulling up the old infield, and we're gonna loam that in and get that seeded. And then we've gotta basically set the new bases down at the other corner, by the back entrance where it enters off of School Street, through that little pathway up to the field. So we'll be setting the bases in there, and I think Brees is arranging for Anchor Fence to come in and reset the backstops. So all should go as quick as we can down there. That's our we're down there till it's done, so to speak.
So whereabouts you actually gonna put it on in Parsons Field?
So it's going in the corner. There's a little.
Why don't we let Brees answer that one?
Okay.
You muted, Reese.
There you
Thank
go.
you. There we go. It's going to be actually on School Street and along the access road that is right next to the tree line right there.
So is it going in the right field as you stood on the old diamond, or did you?
Yes, that's correct. Yep, and it's just going to be squared up with the road right there. And we're able to save the benches. That was kind of a concern because we didn't know once we dug them out if they were going to be all bent up. But they should be good to go, so we can recycle those and use those again because they're in pretty good shape once they get sprayed down.
Good. So what, when are we gonna start softball this time?
Well, we're doing some work on the field. We need to get some grass in there after our grub problem. But I think in early July, if we get some grass in there, we should be able to go.
Okay.
July or June?
Well, if we can, like I said, anytime we get the grass in, once we get some good long grass and we get a few initial cuts in, we'll get it going.
Now, I've had a lot of people ask me about that. So when they thought that we'd start the last week in June, and I said, I can't remember whether we started in last week of June or the first week in July. I couldn't remember that, so.
Yeah, traditionally we had started in July. But yeah, it's grown over the years, and if the demand is there, I know that we always extend the season, so maybe it is time to start the season a little bit earlier.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Grace. Mike?
Thank you.
Yep.
Is there any more questions at all? No? I need to take a motion. I mean, I have to have a motion for this, please.
I move we accept the $4,500 from A&W LLC for the new softball field.
Second, and I want to say thank you, Alan, for doing this, because it's going to be an upgrade. The only question that I was wondering about is the sun line regarding.
Oh, that's why we're moving it, Pat.
That's what I thought.
Because you look straight into the sun when you hit at night.
The bottom line is there's no more excuses to say, oh, no, I missed the ball because the sun was in my eyes.
Yeah.
That was my favorite saying.
Yes.
Whether the sun was in my eyes or not. Now I have no
You got
excuse.
a couple months to make up a new one, Alan.
Yeah,
I'll come up with something.
Trying to lose your excuse.
We can have a softball match against the town of Kennebunk just for some fun when this is all done.
Yeah.
No, seriously, that might be fun. Just a little friendly get together.
Oh, yeah, I have no problem with that. No. Okay, Sheila,
With gratitude, we accept. Aye.
Pat,
I also thank you, Alan. Aye.
Ed,
Aye.
Mike.
Aye.
I don't think I should vote on this, should I?
No.
I didn't think so. Okay, motion carries. Okay, other business. Sheila.
None.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you. See you, Bruce. See you, Mike. Sheila,
Aye.
Ed.
Oh, wait a minute.
Aye.
Oh, no, excuse me.
This other
Other
business.
business. Other business.
What are we doing?
You have any other business, Sheila? No.
Nope.
Mike?
Nope.
Pat?
No, I have nothing.
Ed?
None for me, thank you.
I have nothing, but probably Lori does.
I have nothing.
Come on. That's twice.
Oh,
in a
while
row.
while she said that, I moved the warrants.
Okay.
Second.
Have a first and a second. Sheila,
Aye.
Ed,
Aye.
Pat,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Alan says aye, motion carries. Item 19, executive session per MRSA 1-405-6E for discussion of disposition of real estate. We're not going to have any, there's not going to be movement on this. It's just going to be a discussion. And after the executive session, we'll adjourn.
We're gonna sign, leave, and then come back.
Yeah, we got to go out and back.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, no.
You did, I don't think we voted on the executive session, did we?
So moved.
I don't think we did either.
Second.
I have a first and a second. Sheila,
Aye.
Ed,
Aye.
Pat,
Aye.
Mike.
Aye.
Alan says aye, motion carries.
Okay,
Thanks, Laurie.
See you in executive session.
All right.